Next is what is meant by floating. When you have to understand the concept of floating, you need to understand the term which is called as upthrust. So first of all, what is meant by upthrust? If I consider that here is a liquid such as water and any object is submerged in the water, then what will happen? How many forces are acting on that object? One force is basically the weight of that object which is acting in downward direction, but there is a second force that is acting in the opposite direction, in the upward direction. This is basically called as upthrust. So I can simply say that when any object is submerged in the liquid, then there is a upward force that is acting on this object. It is basically called as upthrust, and it always acts in the opposite direction to the weight of the object. You can see here the force that pushes an object in upward direction, that is submerged in a fluid. Fluid is anything just like the liquid, such as water or anything other like honey. It is called as upthrust. It is always acting in the opposite direction to the weight of an object. Weight of object that is acting in vertically downward, but the upthrust is acting in vertically upward when any object is submerged in the water. What will be the size of that upthrust that is acting on the object? So depending upon the size of the upthrust, the object can float or either it sink. Depending upon the size of that upthrust, the object can float or sink. So basically it's given here, the size of the upthrust is determined by the density of the fluid as well as the volume of the object. So the upthrust size basically depends upon the two factors. First is the density of the fluid and the second one is the volume of the object. So the larger thrust will be exerted on the liquid if the density of the liquid is higher. You know that density is equals to mass per unit volume. If I suppose that the mass of that liquid is smaller, then what will happen? And if the density is large, then what will happen? So first of all, if I suppose that the volume of the liquid is smaller, then according to this formula, of course, the density would be higher. When the density is higher, the upthrust that is exerted by the liquid, it would be larger. So I can simply say that by higher density, the liquid exerts the large upthrust on the object. But if the volume is smaller, there is large upthrust exerted by the liquid. So in both of these cases, the large upthrust is exerted by the liquid on the object if the density is larger or the volume is smaller. So here how the object float depending upon the upthrust. First of all, upthrust is basically the force that is acting on any liquid in the upward direction that is submerged in the liquid. So I can simply say that depending upon the magnitude of the upthrust, either the object can sink or fall. You have to compare the magnitude of the upthrust. First of all, if I suppose that here the upthrust force is larger than the weight of that object, and the second case that I need to consider, the upthrust force is smaller than the weight of that object, then what will happen? Either the object sinks or float. So the object can only float if the upthrust is equal or greater than its weight. If the first condition satisfies from here, then the object will float. But if the second condition is satisfied from here, then the object will sink. I can simply say that if the magnitude of the object upthrust is greater or equals to the weight of the object, then this object will float in the liquid. But the second case is that if the upthrust is lesser than the weight of the object, then in this case the object will sink. It's given here. The upthrust determines whether an object sinks or floats. It depending upon the magnitude of the upthrust. When you have to see that either the object sinks or falls, you actually need to compare the upthrust with the weight of that object. The object will float only if the object upthrust is equal or greater than its weight. If the upthrust force is greater or equal to its weight, then in this condition the object will float. The object will sink if the upthrust is less than its weight. If the value of the upthrust is smaller than the weight of the object, then in this case the object will sink. Why the ships float? So here you can see there are two forces acting on the ships. One is the weight, which is acting in downward direction, and second force is the upthrust, which is acting in upward direction. So when I say that the ships float, it means that you need to compare the magnitude of the upthrust with the weight. So there are two forces acting on this. One is the weight that is acting in downward direction, and the other is the upthrust which is acting in upward direction. The weight of the boat is basically equals to the upthrust here. That's why the ships float. Because we say that the object only floats if the magnitude of the upthrust is greater or equal to its weight. In this case, the weight of the boat is equals to the upthrust of the water. Both of these are equal. That's why the ships float. It's given here. There are two forces acting on the boat. The weight of the boat is the first force, and it is acting in downward direction, while the second force is upthrust of the water, and it is acting in upward direction. The weight of the boat is equals to the upthrust of the water. That's why the ships float. The weight is basically equals to upthrust when this condition happens. In this case, the object will float. That's why the ships float. Floating of the object depending upon the density. In the previous slide, we see that how the object float depending upon the magnitude of the upthrust, but here we have to compare the density. The density of the object and the density of the liquid in which the object is submerged. So first of all, here I consider that there is a water, and you know that the density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. I take two objects. One is the stone. You know that the density of the stone is larger, like it is very denser. So when the object is denser than the density of the liquid, then in this case the object will sink. But if the density of the object is smaller than the density of the liquid, in this case the object will float. So I can simply say that the object sinks or float depending upon the value of the density. You need to compare the density of the object with the density of the liquid in which these are submerged. So first of all, the object will float only if its density is smaller than that of the fluid, such as the liquid in which it is immersed. So here, this boat is basically floating over the water because the density of that is smaller than the density of the water. So I write here, when the density of object is smaller than the density of liquid, in this condition the object will float. Next, we have to say that when the object sinks, depending upon the density. So the object will sink only if the density of the object is larger than the liquid in which the object is immersed. So first of all, here is a stone, and the density of that stone means that the density of this object is larger than the density of liquid. So when this condition happens, in this case you can simply say that object will sink. So the object will sink only if the density of the object is larger than the density of the liquid. It is given here, the object will sink if it is more denser than the density of the fluid in which it is immersed. This is basically due to the fact, if the density of the object is greater than that of the fluid, the object will never displace enough fluid to create an upthrust strong enough to support its weight, and therefore it sinks. So I can simply say that depending upon the value of the density of the object and the liquid, the object can float or sink. The object will float only if the density of the object is smaller than the liquid, but if the density of the object is larger than the liquid, in this case the object will sink. Here you can see that the ship is floating while the stone is sinking. It is because of the reason the density of that ship is smaller than the water and the density of the stone is larger than the water. Here you can see that there is a fresh water and salt water, and there is an egg which is placed in fresh water and salt water. We have to see that where there is larger upthrust, either the egg is placed in the fresh water or it is placed in the salt water. So first thing that you need to remember that the density of salt water is larger than the density of fresh water. The density of the salt water is larger than the density of the fresh water. It means that if any object is placed in the salt water, as it's very denser, the object will also have the smaller density, then in this case in the salt water the object can easily float. But in the fresh water, if you place any object, as the density of the fresh water is smaller, the object will be more denser than the fresh water. That's why if you place any object in the fresh water, it will sink. So depending upon the value of density, you can easily guess that either the object will float or sink here. So first of all, when you have to see here the sinking of the egg or floating, you have to know the weight or the density of that egg. If the density of egg is smaller than the density of the water, then in this case the egg will float. But if the density of the egg is larger than the density of the water, in this case the egg will sink. So this is given here. The salt water has more density than the fresh water. Therefore, if you place an egg in both fresh water and the salt water, then the egg will experience the smaller upward force. The upward force is basically the upthrust. The egg will experience a smaller upthrust force when it is placed in the fresh water as compared to the salt water. However, to see that egg floats or sinks, it is necessary to know the exact weight of the egg. Egg sinks in the fresh water while it floats in the salt water, but it floats partially. It cannot float completely in the salt water. Here is an example that I take different cylinder and place here different object. First object is polystyrene block. When you place the polystyrene block into the liquid, then what will happen? Either it sinks or float. The second one is the wood block, and in the third cylinder I place here the lead block. You know that the density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. It is also equals to 1 gram per centimeter cube. So it's the density of water. When you have to see that either the block sinks or float, you need to compare the density of that blocks with the density of the water. So let's see first of all the density of all of these blocks. Here you can see that the polystyrene block has density 0.05. So let's go back. For that block, the density is 0.05 gram per cubic centimeter. Note this density is smaller than the density of water. Then what you can say? Either the polystyrene block sinks or float? Of course it will float. It is because of the reason the density of the polystyrene block is smaller than the density of the water. Next we see the density of the wood. The density of wood is 0.9 gram per cubic centimeter. So let's go back. The wood block has density 0.9 gram per cubic centimeter. This density is also smaller than the density of water, like it's comparable with the density of water. That's why the wood block partially floats in the water. After that there is a lead block, and let's see the density for the lead block. It has 11.3. This block has density 11.3 gram per cubic centimeter. So this density is basically larger than the density of water. When the density of the object is larger than the density of liquid, that's why the lead block sinks in the water and the polystyrene blocks floats over the water, because of the reason the density of that block is smaller than the density of the water. So its explanation is given in the next slide. You can see here, consider the 3 blocks in the water. The density of water is 1.0 gram per cubic centimeter. The polystyrene block has density 0.05 gram per cubic centimeter. Wood block has density 0.9 gram per cubic centimeter, and the lead block has 11.3 gram per cubic centimeter. For all of these blocks, the density values are given. A polystyrene block will float in the water. Why it float in the water? See the density of the polystyrene block and the water. The density of the polystyrene block is very small as compared to the density of water. So that's why it will float. The same thing is given here. The polystyrene blocks will float in water because its density is very small as compared to that of the water. After that there is a wood block, and the wood block is basically partially submerged, but still it will float in the water. It is because of the reason its density is comparable with the density of water, like it's 0.9 gram per cubic centimeter, while for the water its density is 1.0 gram per cubic centimeter. That's why the wood block will also float in the water. At the end here is lead block, and this block will sink in the water. It is because of the reason the density of the lead block is very larger as compared to the density of the water. Here is the exam question that appeared in May-June 2020. The mass of the measuring cylinder is 190 gram. 400 cubic centimeter of liquid is put into the measuring cylinder. The volume is given, which is 400 cubic centimeter. The total mass of the measuring cylinder and the liquid is 560 gram. 4 solid objects are lowered in turn into the liquid. The densities of the object are given. First object has density 0.4 gram per cubic centimeter. Second object has 0.9 gram per cubic centimeter. For the third object, the density is 1.2 gram per cubic centimeter. For the fourth object, the density is 2.7 gram per cubic centimeter. Which objects will float in the liquid? Option A, object 1 only. B, 1 and 2 only. C, 1, 2 and 3. D, 3 and 4. So basically here are 4 objects whose densities are given here. You have to show that either these objects will float in the liquid or sinks. So basically in this exam question you have to tell that among 4 of the given object which will float in the liquid. For that you have to know the density of the liquid. So what is the density of liquid? For that you have to use the formula of density, which is mass per unit volume. You can see here the liquid volume is given, which is 400 cubic centimeter. You have to calculate the mass of the liquid because initially the mass of the measuring cylinder is given and after that the combined mass of measuring cylinder and liquid is given. So you can simply write here the mass of measuring cylinder plus liquid. It is equals to the sum of the mass of liquid and measuring cylinder. From here you can easily calculate the mass of liquid. It would be equals to the mass of measuring cylinder plus liquid, which is 560 gram, minus the mass of the cylinder, which is 190 gram. You can easily calculate the mass of the liquid. By putting that value into the formula of density, you calculate the density of that liquid and at the end you compare that density with the density of the object. So let's see the answer and explanation. First of all, the mass of the measuring cylinder is given, which is equals to 190 gram. The mass of measuring cylinder and liquid is 560 gram. Then you get the mass of the liquid, which is 560 minus 190. It is equals to 370 gram. It's the mass of the liquid that you need to use when you are going to find out the density. The volume of the liquid is given 400 cubic centimeter. Use here the formula of density, which is mass per unit volume. Then you get the density that comes to be 0.925 gram per cubic centimeter. This is basically the density of the liquid. After that you need to compare that density with the densities of the object. So let's see here. As the density of the object 1 and 2, it is less than the density of the liquid. If the density of the object is smaller than the density of liquid, of course it will float. So let's go back. This is basically the density of the liquid. Compare this density of liquid with the object. Here for the first object the density is 0.40. This density is smaller than the density of liquid. Second object has density 0.90. It is also smaller than the density of liquid. Third object is 1.2 gram per cubic centimeter denser, which is greater than the density of liquid. And the fourth one object has density 2.7, which is even greater than the density of liquid. So I can simply say that for the object 1 and 2, the density of this object is smaller than the density of liquid. When the density of the object is smaller than the density of liquid, this object will float in the liquid. So from here, option B is correct because in the option B, 1 and 2 objects are mentioned. That's why correct answer is B. You can also see from here, the correct answer is B. Here is an example question. There is a block of wood whose volume is 210 cubic centimeter and its mass is 180 gram. Part A. Calculate the density of the block of wood. B. The block is held just above the surface of the liquid of density 0.88 gram per cubic centimeter. The density of the liquid is given. Predict and explain what happens when the block is released. So basically, first of all, you have to calculate the density of the wood. The volume is 210 cubic centimeter and its mass is 180 gram. You can easily use the formula of density. So let's see the solution here. Here you use the formula of density, which is mass per unit volume. The mass is 180 gram and the volume is 210 cubic centimeter. You get the density, which is 0.86 gram per cubic centimeter. So in the part A, the density comes to be 0.86 gram per cubic centimeter. I write here 0.86 gram per cubic centimeter. In the second part, you have to tell that either this block of wood sinks or flat. So compare the density of the liquid with the density of that wood. I can simply write here the density of liquid is 0.88 gram per cubic centimeter. The density of wood is smaller than the density of liquid. So when the density of the object is smaller than the density of liquid, then what will happen? Of course, this object will float. In the part B, you can see the density of the liquid is 0.88 gram per cubic centimeter. The density of block is smaller than the density of liquid. When the density of block is lesser than the density of liquid, of course, it will float. So here the wood block will float in the liquid because its density is smaller than the density of the liquid. Here you can see that there are different liquids that are inside the glass. First of all, here is honey, liquid soap, water, olive oil and ethyl alcohol. For all of these liquids, the density values are different. The density is increasing in downward direction. It's the direction of increasing density. Here basically you have to observe that which liquid will float. You always know that the liquid with lesser density will float. Here are different liquids that are not mixed. So if the liquids are not mixed, then the liquid which has lesser density, it will float over all other liquid that has higher density. Here ethyl alcohol has a smaller density as compared to all other. That's why it will float over all other liquids. After that, there is the olive oil whose density is smaller than water, liquid soap and honey. That's why it will float over all of these liquids. So I can simply say that if the liquids are not mixed, these are separate. In this case, the liquid whose density is smaller, it will float as compared to the density of the liquid which is larger. The same point is given here. If the liquids are not mixed, then a lower density liquid will float on a liquid of higher density. Here is again the same thing, the densities of the liquid. Here the liquids are changed and all of these are separate. The order of density is mentioned here. At the top, the density is smaller and at the bottom, the density is larger. Here you can see by the arrow head. After that, there are different liquids such as the oil, water, milk and honey. From all of these liquids, the density of oil is very smaller as compared to water, milk or honey. That's why the oil will float over all of these liquids. The density of the water is smaller than the density of milk and honey. That's why it will float over milk and honey. I can simply say that if the liquids are not mixed, then the liquid with less density will float over all other liquids. Here is examination tip. Always need to remember that the mass is measured in kilogram. The SI unit for the mass is kilogram, while in some calculation of the densities the unit is given in gram. So you have to use the gram instead of kilogram. So basically the second point is that you don't need to confuse between the floating and the sinking of the object depending upon their density. Just remember that if the density of the object is smaller, then it will of course float. But if the density of the object is larger, then it will sink. So you don't need to confuse between both of these. Here is a simulation that is related with the density. So let's open this. First of all, let's open the intro. Here you can see that there is the block that is submerged in the water, which is the liquid. So first of all, here I consider that's a wood block. The wood block has the mass of 2.00 kilogram and its volume is 5.00 liter. If we talk about the density of liquid in liters, then its density comes to be 1 kilogram per liter. So here you need to calculate the density for all of these blocks that you put in the water. First of all, let's suppose that it's a wood block. The mass is given 2 kilogram and divide it with the volume, which is 5.00 liter. Then you get 0.4 kilogram per liter. It is smaller as compared to 1 kilogram per liter, which is the density of the water. That's why the wooden block will float here. But if I take any other block, such as the brick block, whose density is very large. See here, the mass of this block is 10 and the volume is 5.00 liter. When you divide both of these, you get 2 kilogram per liter, the density of this brick block. And this has density larger as compared to the density of the water. That's why it will sink in the water. If I take any other such as ice, the ice is partially floating here. It is because of the reason if you calculate its density, its mass is given 4.60, divide it with 5.00, you get 0.92 kilogram per liter, and it is nearly equals to 1 kilogram per liter. Both of these are very closer to each other. I can simply say that the density of ice is very closer to the density of the water. That's why it will partially submerged in the water, but still it will float. So you can change here the blocks and you can see that either these blocks will float or sink. Next, go to the next one. Here we have to compare the two blocks. First of all, on the right side you can see that here are blocks mentioned and I keep the masses for both of these blocks same. When the block has the same masses, the density depends upon the volume. So let's consider the first two blocks. Both of these have mass 5.00 kilogram. And also see the other two blocks, they have the same mass. One pair of blocks sinks while the other pair of blocks float. It is because of the reason, see here the volume. The volume of this 5.00 kilogram block, it has the volume very smaller. When the volume is smaller, of course, it has much larger density as compared to the other, due to which it will sink in the water. If I talk about this block, which is the yellow one, it has mass 5.00 kilogram, which is fixed. It has larger volume so that its density would be smaller. When the density of this block is smaller than the water, it will float over the surface of the water. If I talk about this green block, it again has the same mass, which is 5.00, but its volume is smaller than the yellow block. When the volume is smaller, of course, the density would be large. When the density of the object is larger than the water, it will sink in the water. So depending upon the value of density, you can tell either the object will sink or float in the water. After that, if I keep the volume of all of these blocks to be fixed and the mass is different, you know that mass is directly proportional to the density. The larger the mass, larger would be the density. So if I consider here the blue block, all of these blocks have the same volume, but here the blue block has mass 6.00 kilogram. The green block has mass 4.00 kilogram. Block has mass 2.00 kilogram, and for the other one the mass is 8.00 kilogram. Now see here the block whose mass is very less, 2.00 kilogram. This block has a very small mass as compared to the other. When the mass is smaller, of course, its density would be smaller as compared to the other blocks. When the density of the block is smaller than the density of the water, it will float over the surface of the water. If I talk about the 8.00 kilogram block, this block has the largest mass as compared to the other. When the mass is larger, of course, the density for that block is larger. So when the density is larger for the block, it will sink in the water. In this case, you can easily compare the floating and the sinking. After that, if I consider here the density for all of these is same, then see here, when the density is same, what will happen? The density for all of these blocks is same, which is even smaller than the density of the water. So all of these blocks will float over the surface of the water because of the same value of the density. You can practice all of these as well here. It's present on your account. After that, here is an example question. Two liquids 1 and 2 having the density 0.5 kg per meter cube and 0.76 kg per meter cube respectively. For both of these liquids, the densities are given. If both of these liquids are not mixed, then which liquid will float on top of the other? So basically, both of these liquids are not mixed, then which one of the following will float over the other? See here, the density of the first liquid is 0.5 kilogram per cubic meter. The density of the liquid 2 is 0.76 kilogram per meter cube. The density of the liquid 1 is smaller as compared to 2. I can simply say the density of liquid 1 is smaller than the density of liquid 2. Smaller density liquid will float over the other. That's why here the liquid 1 will float over the liquid 2. Let's see the answer and explanation. The density of the liquid 1 is 0.50 kg per meter cube. The density of liquid 2 is 0.76 kg per meter cube. You need to compare here the density. Only the liquid whose density is lower floats on the other. As the density of the liquid 1 is lesser than the liquid 2, so it will float over the liquid 2. There are some questions for your practice. Question number 1. A person fills the container with sea water. The container has dimension of 20 cm times 20 cm times 20 cm. The density of the sea water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Determine the mass of the sea water in the container. Here you need to calculate the mass of the sea water if the density of sea water and its dimension of the container is given. Question number 2. A rectangular box has a base of dimensions 0.14 meter times 0.17 meter. The box is filled with liquid. The mass of liquid in the box is 3.7 kg. Calculate the density of the liquid. Here you need to calculate the density of the liquid because the mass of the box as well as the dimension of the rectangular box is given. Question number 3. The ice hockey rink has an area of 1800 meters square. The ice has a thickness of 0.025 meter. The density of the ice is 920 kg per meter cube. Calculate the mass of the ice on the ring. So you have to practice these questions. If you find any difficulty, you can ask. Thank you.